Hi Aries, welcome to your January 2023 reading. Happy New Year. It is New Year's Day. I hope you had a really nice night, and I hope you woke up this morning feeling optimistic, and perhaps even last night you felt that moment where Venus and Pluto decided that they were going to have a conversation in Capricorn. Now, how does that affect you as an Aries, and what kind of tone does that set for the coming year? Well, you want harmony. You want your ambitions and your family and all the things you hide from your ambitions and from your family to come together. You want harmony in your home. You want to feel powerful and in control, but in a way that's not at odds with the people around you. You want to use your smarts and your words. You want to be calmer. And there is a lot that you've realized that you want to leave behind. Overall, I think you've understood that a lot of the sadness you experienced last year had to do with some of your own shortcomings. And you've walked into this new year very confident, because once it was identified that it was within you, it became very easy to eradicate it. So, I think the most appealing moment of this coming year for you is when all these different intentions that you have to do good and to make progress come together, and they converge in one really beautiful cumulative moment where you feel settled, and you feel like yourself, and you feel like the best of you has made its way through, but also that all the good intentions that you put out there for friends and family, that those good intentions also came true. And they also, hell is paved, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So your intentionality worked out. It's bringing about really positive and welcome changes in people's lives, and that's not always been the case. So to feel like you're making a contribution, to feel like your contribution is something valuable, that you're not just doing for self, and that people can see that what you're doing for others, you don't need to be doing it, you feel like doing it, it's genuine. The whole mix of it, it's startling to people. It's a new you. And I think it's because there's a deeper reason for this. I think you want commitment. I think you're at a point in your life where the less drama, the better, because you want peace and quiet and commitment. And so you are having that moment of like, am I the drama? And if so, I'm done with that. I think a lot of people are surprised by that. Like, they don't expect you to be quite so easily subdued. But that's just because they don't understand you. You are very capable of doing whatever you want. You don't hold yourself back. It's only if you want to do something or not. I think oftentimes people don't really understand that about you. But now that you've decided that you want commitment, you've taken that very sharp eye that you have, and you turned it on yourself. Okay, well, what do I do, and what do I say, and what do I, how do I get on that makes me not a very good candidate for a commitment? And you took a look, and you seemingly overnight changed a lot of things. This was a totally internal process. Nobody helped you with it, really. And I don't know if you'd be hard pressed to find what really prompted it, if you could pinpoint a catalyst. I don't think you could. it's just that thing you do, Aries, where something occurs to you and then nothing is ever the same. Not for you and not for everybody else. And generally, it's always associated with something positive. You know, you either figured something new out, or you met someone who's going to be really influential, or had a new idea and took the entire crew, the friendship, the family, the company in a completely new direction and saved everybody's ass. These are the type of stories you hear about Aries. There's dynamic leadership always at the core of these fables, you know, these tales, this lore that grows up around Aries. But really, when you boil down all that mythology, what it comes down to is someone who isn't afraid to press the button. And as you know, as we know, commitment is very much that bright red button that says don't push. But it doesn't matter what kind of button it is. When you want to push it, you're going to push it. And Aries January 23 is like, yeah, I'm pushing the fucking button. You know, and that's all there is to it. Now, what that does is that it puts some very questionable relationships into the bright light. So now that you've decided, you know, that's what you want, anything that's not conducive to commitment, bad friendships, bad influences in your life, people who, you know, exes who won't let you get on with your life, any aspect of your life where you now feel being held back, you know, now you feel the rope tightening as you try to evolve forward into this commitment stage, those ties, you have no problem cutting these people off. It's like you're not even going to think about it. You have no time to waste. You never have time to waste, but you're like in a really big hurry right now, and I don't blame you. I think you are absolutely right for going at the speed that you're going at. I think you've been waiting a long time to move this fast. I think it's been a long time since you could move this fast and be this honest with yourself simultaneously, which is such a powerhouse moment for you. You can push through all the way to your birthday, right? And you're going, the fuel, the thing that's propelling you forward is so cool because it's not based in any sort of self-righteousness or righteousness at all. It's not based in any judgment. It's not, there's no drama. This is not, like I said, this is a purely internal process. This has nothing to do with anyone else. For the first time, you're implying this powerhouse of ambition that you have, this like, you know, rip-roaring piston engine of ambition that you have. For the first time maybe in your life, you're applying it to who you are as a person. Because you want to walk into commitment being like the stellar, excellent version of you that you are, that you want to be, but that you are, because that's what you expect as well. And so once you've decided that, all these things in your life, these bad ties, relationships that make us feel like failures, you know, people who are either openly or through, you know, this kind of sublimated humor, like jabbing at us and poking at us and throwing these subversive kind of critiques at us, you realize how much of that keeps you back, and it holds you in fear of making real progress or of stepping outside of what people know of you. Those people identify themselves as being bars on a cage, and instead of lamenting it, you're able to just very quickly, you know, just, okay, yeah, you've identified yourself as somebody who would not be good for me as I evolve into this next stage. For better or for worse, it's no judgment on you as a person. It's really not even about a moral issue. It's just that I've evolved into, you know, someone who wants a deeper connection with people, because it doesn't have to be, if you're like, no, but I'm not looking for commitment, it doesn't have to be commitment to a love interest. This is just you deciding to be more committed to your life, to the people around you. There is a deep grounding that's happened to you. It's been happening slowly over the past few years, but there's like a substantive difference in you. And it's happened, it's a cumulative thing that's happened over the past couple of years, where there's like been gravity and weight added to you spoonful by spoonful. And you've gotten to the place now, dare I say you've matured to the place where you want something deeper with people. Your friendships, your work relationships even. Of course, your love relationships, but also with your family, to the siblings maybe that you don't talk to the cousins you never see, to the parents that perhaps you have a really hard time looking past, how they are, and to be able to even spend a little time with them. But I think what you're realizing is that these relationships are so precious because they do provide you with a source of energy that you can't get anywhere else. And it's a source of energy that lasts a very long time. It feeds itself, it regenerates itself. And you notice who gives it to you and who doesn't. And you realize over the course of not just January, but throughout the year, that the people who give it to you and it just courses through you and recycles itself and it stays with you, those people give it to you because they want to, not because you're asking. And also they give it freely and they want nothing back in return. And these are the people that you walk out of 2023 holding on to very tightly. These are the people that float you throughout this year. These are the people you turn to throughout the year. And their job really becomes just to echo back to you that you have to trust yourself. You're doing this based on your intuition, and whenever you back away from that intuition, you may still succeed. It no longer becomes about, any sort of success or failure. It's about what would have been best for you. And it's hard to distinguish between those, right? So something in the meantime, in the interim, can seem like a huge success, but later on can be extremely detrimental to you. When we can go off of our instincts, especially if our instincts are this sharp, I think that you'll find that even if on the surface the situation seems like a negative, it's the best thing for you in that moment, because then later that experience becomes a building block to something else that you needed very much so. And then once that next thing happens, or the next thing happens, you're like, that's why. So you have a process is what I'm trying to get at. And your process, let's say for life, right? Your art is this life that you're living and the action of your lives. And you have a process, and that process is, I have a feeling about something, I follow that feeling, and wherever that takes me, I learn from that, and then that learning and that knowledge, I store it because I'm smart, and then when the next thing comes up, I'm able to use it, and my life just keeps making sense this way, and up and up and up and up the mountain I go. Yeah. Yeah. And now to do this with your eyes open and understanding that relationships need to be about growth. Understanding that anything that you want to really grow over the next year, it'll need a year to grow. Understanding that anything you put into the ground right now, it'll take it 9-10 months to grow. A Russian mystic once told me that, and it always stuck with me. She said, anything, a wish, a prayer, a baby, it all takes 9 months to grow. That's the growth cycle of our consciousness. And I thought, holy fucking shit, how did I never think of that? So Venus will be in Aquarius, Aries, which for some of you, right, is the perfect time, I would say, especially Aries rising, to put those seeds in the ground that you want to take 9 months to grow. So those are the things that you'd be like really serious about. Here it feels like you really want to get up this ladder. You just want some financial security. You want to extend that security to the people around you, of course. And right now, it's not about a lot more than that. And we don't need it to be more than that. We don't need to romanticize it. Like, you want to go get the bag, and I don't fucking blame you. So those long-term seeds, those bigger projects, the ones that maybe mean a little bit more, put those in the ground between the 3rd of January and the 27th, and then kind of forget about them. You know, that's a long hold. Just forget about them. And you'll see September, October, how things start to come together. But it's important psychologically for you, you know, making lists, making outlines. What do I want out of this year from the 3rd to the 27th? It's a really powerful time to do that. And then on top, you know, right after that, we're going to start into the Lunar New Year. So it's a great practice to do right then in this time period, and set up your year according to, you know, just what your priorities are now. Again, coming back to this idea of commitment. I think a lot of people that you lose touch with right now will be people that reflect back to you this sense of neediness sometimes that you can have, and how that neediness can also fuel manipulative behavior. So there are a couple of people around you who do that as well. And when you see it in them, at first you'll have like this aversion immediately to like, oh, what is that? And then with a little time, as the month progresses, you'll realize that, oh, okay, I really dislike that, because I kind of can sense that I do that as well, but I've never really seen it from the outside. And now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. And oh my God, do I do that too? And that's an amazing moment for you, because again, that's totally internal. Nobody's embarrassing you. Nobody's being embarrassed. This is just you having a conversation with yourself about something that's happening on the outside. And it's just like that. There are moments just like that where you are able to solve enormous obstacles. Like you are able to move enormous obstacles and solve enormous problems with just these flash insights. Because you see someone acting a certain way, or they say something, and you immediately, boom, in that moment, feel the reflective, like projecting nature of that, or like, oh my God, I do that too. I'm never going to do that again. So Mars is going to go direct on the 12th, and Mars is in Gemini and has been retrograde, which is why everything has been going nuts, just by the way. It will go direct on the 12th. And then Mercury, which is just turned retrograde 2 days ago, will turn direct on the 18th. Now, Mercury's in Capricorn. So we have Mars in Gemini. It will go direct on the 12th. And Mercury in Capricorn, which is retrograde, and it will go direct on the 18th. Once we get to January 18th, that is your signal to go, go, go. The light has gone from red to amber to green. You gotta go. Don't stop. Now, if you're thinking, I wanna go now. Okay, if you think that you have all the information that you need, go, run. That's fine. You like being dumb early anyway. Go ahead, run. But if you also, again, we've been talking like directly and indirectly about your gut feelings, right? If you feel in your gut that you don't have all the info yet, don't take a step. Wait. But as of the 18th, inshallah, you'll have all the information you need to go, 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 go. Now let's look at these cards and really think about what go in what direction, what is it, what am I doing? So here, it looks like either there's a story you want to tell, or something that you want, or something that you want to admit to your family, like this is what I want to do, or this is how I want it to be, or something you end up writing, something you end up expressing that has to do with getting this pain out of you, but also making some sense of it and being able to move forward. You want to wipe the slate clean. You want your family members to get along. You want your friends to get along. You want whatever stressful work situation you're in to resolve itself so everyone can be in a good mood and have a good working environment. You are very much about the vibe right now. You want the vibe between the people in your life to be joyous and cohesive, and you want different groups of people to be able to mix with each other and hang out with each other. You want to include everybody. And so anybody in your life that up until now has been playing an exclusionary game, and they like to take you away from people, because you know people love to do that to Aries. They want to keep you for themselves. All those type of people, even though they might have been in your life for mad long and you've been entertaining them, now all of a sudden you're just like, no, I don't want to deal with you. Like, I feel so crowded by you. because my priorities are different and I want to bring people together, and you really are making me feel like you don't want that. And you're making me feel kind of weird for wanting it. And that's also weird. And so in this way, you're starting to see how there are certain people, certain situations that just no longer fit socially or ethos-wise with what you want in life. And now for some of you, that could be really scary. Like, oh my God, am I getting old? Why do I want these like really serious things? And for others, it's like the sigh of relief. You know, you've been waiting for this. You've been waiting your whole life to feel strong enough in yourself, feel worthy enough to trust your intuition and your gut above all else. And that way you can ensure that you just don't get played. Because the only thing, Aries, you're so gullible when someone is like really strong with their words and really telling you like how they think it is. You know, it can be really hard for you to discern if that person's telling the truth or not, but only because you haven't like gone Super Saiyan with the intuition. Once you do that, then it's like, this shit is obvious. Like this no longer works. You know, it's like, Aries, you need to go watch Primal Fear. What you are the lawyer at the end of Primal Fear when he figures out what's actually going on. And you're just like, after that, it's like, you'll never see anything the same. And that's what happens when you make that commitment to yourself. Here we are, new year, making that commitment to yourself that no matter what, you're going to follow that nudge, that little subtle nudge that your mind, your body, your heart, your brain gives you all the time to go this way instead of that. To choose this, to not say that. Whatever it is. Yeah? What I like about it, what I think is incredible about it as a reading is just how much growth it shows in you as a person, you know, to want this kind of family harmony, to deeply want a sense of commitment, so much so that you're willing to help people with whatever they're going through, but you're also willing to sacrifice people who just are not, they're fine for you. They're fine for you, but they wouldn't be fine for the idea of what you want next. That's a very noble thing. I think you're working in a really idealistic space, and I like that for you. I think you thrive in a space like that because it's abstract, and you're cardinal fire, very abstract as well. And so I think you can gain a lot of momentum in the abstract space, and your feelings make a lot more sense to you in the abstract. So I think it's a win-win all around. You've decided that you're not going to let bad things happen to you and the people around you. And I think that that's always been your purpose and always was your purpose. And to see you stepping into that, whether it's through a renewed commitment to people and your relationships, or, you know, just going full on Aries mode, Emperor and Empress, whatever it is, it's nice to have you back, sir. God damn it, it's nice to hear your voice, sir. That's from The Matrix. Love you. So now, on Patreon, we're going to do, in 2 weeks, we're going to do a mid-month where we'll do a completely new reading, but that will only be on Patreon. And then we're also going to do an extended, and I'll put that on Vimeo. That'll also go on Patreon. So if you take a look at it, Patreon becomes the much better deal. Now, if you're in a country where there is no Patreon, everything that is up for Aries will go on the Aries 2023 page, and you'll be able to go to that Aries 2023 page and find every Instagram live, every Aries reading, anything that refers to Aries that we've done, any content about Aries, and you'll be able to purchase it there. And so that should make things a lot easier. Did I tell you that I love you? Okay, let me tell you like this. My personal readings are open, and there's a link for that below. And, yeah. Happy fucking New Year. Love you.